All right, welcome to the latest episode of the Coleman Power Organic Fitness Podcast. And this show is going to be on the topic of putting on weight. And even to be more specific, the point is to build lean muscle. Because a lot of people talk about the likes of how to lose weight and lose body fat, but you can only lose so much body fat, and then inevitably you must switch over to trying to put on weight, as people call it. But I like to suppose, which anybody can put on weight. We usually go to the likes of McDonald's, get the likes of any fast foods, and we would put on body fat. That's not what we want, because that does not benefit any of us going forward. And for the most part, there's so many different advantages to having lean muscle tissue and being stronger and being healthier overall. So what I'm going to touch on, the first thing you're going to need to do is most certainly you're going to need to eat more whole, real foods. Okay, so you have to be in a calorie surplus, and how you actually do that is most certainly you're using the likes of MyFitnessPal or any other apps that are able to indicate what foods that you are currently eating and what they add up to. So for the total opposite, if you're looking to lose weight, you have to be in a calorie deficit. So that means a total, I suppose, of your metabolic rate, which is calculated by your current height, your current weight, and your current activity levels. Because individuals are looking to put on weight or put on lean muscle, it's as a result of they are in a current state where they're so active, either in their job, whether it's outside, electrician, plumber, plasterer, you're a grower, you're a nurse, you're a doctor, you're walking a high percentage of the day, you're doing the excessive amounts of cardio that you don't and does not help you to, I suppose, build lean muscle tissue. And there is one of the main problems that people need to understand. So how to calculate what foods currently add up to where you're at right now. So that every food item, as we're going to touch on now, is either a protein, a fat, or a carbohydrate. So if you're looking to, I suppose, build lean muscle, you have to inevitably eat more protein. It has advantages for weight loss, keeping you fuller for longer. So there is a point of which that we also must remember that protein is essential for cell recovery. It helps build with all its amino acids. It's 21, but there's 9 essential amino acids. I'm going to recommend protein sources to you: chicken, fish, turkey, eggs, tofu, and tempeh. Okay, the most simplest of which it would definitely be the eggs. They're nature's not only multivitamin, but they're also nature's protein balls. One large egg, organic egg, would most certainly be in the range of 7 grams of protein. So if you're having 3 eggs, that's 21 grams, excuse me, of protein on the go. Put them in your pocket, granddad style, or have them, as I said, pre-boiled in the fridge for you to snack on as you're going out about your day, or have them in your bag where you can really go over, crack them open, have a spoon in the car, and in your bag, wherever. I suppose you can literally crack open those bad boys and gain 21 grams of protein with just a minimum of 3 eggs. So other examples would be your chicken, your fish, which is a really easy one. If you're struggling, tins of fish on the go, Shines. I wish I had 10 of them right here, right now. They are the best goddamn quality fish that I've ever tasted. Irish-based company. But again, if you get your hands on any type of fish, again, that could be sardines, which I really do enjoy because they're high in omega-3. That's a healthy fat we'll touch on now very soon. We're going over to the likes of your other fish, such as maybe salmon. You again have higher levels of omega-3 and are great for, I suppose, brain function. You have the point of which is a slightly different fish, white fish, which still has lower type of fats, but still a complete protein. Then you have your tuna, which again, if you get it from a high quality source, it's going to have less mercury in it. So those are the fish options. Then you can go on to the likes of red meats if you do eat them in your current diet. One issue is with people that are unsure of where's the best place to get your meats. The best place is getting it local. The best place is getting it fresh, and the best place is getting it organic in all those different forms. And having a protein source with every meal is something that I do recommend, because if you're not eating enough protein, you cannot, I suppose, build lean muscle tissue. So the recommended daily amount daily is 1.5 to 2 grams. I'd be recommending the upper end, 2 grams of protein per kg. So if you're pound, you switch that over. So take the example, if you're a 70 kg individual, it's 140 grams of protein. If you're 80 kg, you double that. That is double 80, 160. They say don't do maths live, but that's pretty goddamn close. Double it. You're 90, 180. You're 100, 200 grams of protein per day. And then take the example, if it is 140 grams of protein roughly per day that you have to hit, you have to divide that out into 3 main meals. So that will give you close to 45 grams of protein roughly per meal. And then you're having, as I said, your chicken, your fish, your turkey, your eggs, your tofu, your tempeh, and the tofu and tempeh are slightly lower in protein overall. I have to clear my throat massively. 1 second, apologies. As always, public speaking, drying out my throat, that also helps. And taking a drink of my parsley tea. The point I'm going to expand on is you have to have 45 grams of protein per main meal. And how you do that, we'll take an example, is you don't have to have 45 grams of chicken, you have to have 45 grams of smoked salmon, you don't have to have 45 grams of tofu or tempeh. It's you can mix and combine proteins together. So if you are having, let's say, take the example of tempeh, about 100 grams, that is about fist size, is 18 grams of protein. You have the upper scale of that in the chicken will be 20 grams of protein. If it's red meat, it could be 20 to 25. So red meats and meats do have a slight advantage over the plant-based sources, and that's why it's a little bit easier for people on, I'll call it a standard diet. I have no preference to diets. I want people to eat more single ingredient foods to help them to reach their fitness goal. So if you are eating tofu on a regular basis, or you are on a vegan or vegetarian diet, you will find it harder, and then you may need to use the likes of a supplement. The supplements that I do use myself is an organic one. It has 3 to 4 single ingredients that I am able to, I suppose, understand, and is, I would like to call it a clean supplement. This really helps people. Why? Because you can make the likes of overnight oats, which has 3 ingredients. It has the oats, complex carbohydrate. You have your protein supplement, and you can add in pumpkin seeds, which is a healthy fat, and or almonds, because they're high in calories that we're going to touch on just next. And that's it. 3 ingredients popped in the likes of your, I even use it in a yogurt tub or in a glass jar. So I can literally carry that around, put it in my bag. Now, take the example, I wear these pants for a particular reason, because I can put things in my pocket, such as meals on the go. The main reason you find it difficult to build lean muscle tissue is you are not currently eating enough. You have to realize that. You are underweight because you exercise so much. And for people who are trying to lose weight, it's the exact opposite. They're not getting 10,000 steps. Right now, you're in a position where you're over moving. You're moving too much, you're doing too much. And as a result of that, your body cannot, I suppose, utilize the food that you are using for maintaining that muscle and definitely building on the current frame that you do have. So those are some things that I definitely recommend people to do. And you can make the likes of smoothies, you can make juices with that protein supplement, and it makes it transportable, something that's easy. You have to find meals that you can quickly have and turn over into something that's high protein, high calorie, that helps you to build lean muscle tissue. So most of my meals on the Organic Fitness Program are literally pan-fried foods. So we'll give one example of, okay, your protein source. We'll go with eggs. Eggs in a pan. You can go with 4 eggs, that's 21, that's 28 grams of protein. You go a sprinkle of hemp seeds. You go 15 grams, that's another 5. So 28 plus 5, that's 35. Then maybe a slice of cheese. We'll make sure it's organic. Definitely highly recommend that. Could get you up to 45 grams of protein. 100 grams of cheese could definitely get you that 45 grams of protein. There's 3 different protein sources. Add in a green, whether it be spinach, kale, it's all in season, rainbow chard right now, and the carbohydrate source. So that could be your oats that you steeped overnight, or just put in a pan right now and mix up with some raw milk or some plant-based milk, depending on what your preference is, or water. But I suppose the higher calorie one would be the raw milk. The lower calorie would be the oat milk or soya milk, and then the lowest of all the calories, water. So those are your 3 liquid sources that you can add to your oats. And that's going to help you, I suppose, make a meal in about 8 minutes. I can pop that together. You could also make a lunch if you have the opportunity to go back to the house to cook something for yourself. Okay, pan-fried mince, literally, again, no more than 15 minutes. If you have a large pan using not extra virgin olive oil because you're cooking at higher temperatures, I would switch over maybe to coconut oil because you can cook a little bit faster. That's if you're under pressure. If you have a little bit more time, you're taking 45 minutes for lunch, there you go. I've made it out of extra virgin olive oil. So that's key for it too. Then you go for your main meal of the day. Again, it's something quick, it's something fast. You could literally roast a full chicken and have that there in the fridge to add 2 meals. And that could be something that you could do throughout the week. On a Sunday or a Monday, roast a full chicken, take a breast of it, and again, 100 grams, typically a breast size or the size of your fist. There's an example of, don't have to use the weighing scales, but for most people starting out, I do get them to weigh the foods that they have, cooked items, because you can track that. And once you track it for particularly around a week or so, maybe even 2, you can get a clear example of the foods that you regularly eat that will help you to get to a calorie surplus that helps you to build lean muscle tissue. So that's really important. The next thing that you're having in and must have in your diet is healthy fats. They're essential. You must consume them. Okay. These are what do contain 9 kilocalories per gram. So when you are looking to, I suppose, get into a calorie surplus, fats are your best friend, and healthy fats. So that's, again, the cooking oils, extra virgin olive oil, coconut oil. You can also use the high smoke point avocado oil as a 3 that I recommend. And there's a couple, if not several, in this book. That's an Amazon #1 bestseller. Oh yes, chalk that down. I'll be talking about that for a long time. So the Power of Organic Fitness available on Amazon and all other speaking events. So yes, I do recommend people to add in healthy fats. So nuts are a real easy one. We've touched on hemp seeds. You can definitely add them to your diet. Why? Because they're a complete protein as well. And other healthy fats that are really easy on the go are almonds. Okay, almonds, walnuts, pumpkin seeds, chia seeds are all something you can definitely add into either your breakfast, as I said, your overnight oats, or just snacks in and on the go, or that lunch that you're having. If you're looking to, I suppose, put on some oils on top of your salads, if you don't want to cook them, let's take the example of that chicken breast, some extra virgin olive oil. You have spices such as cayenne pepper, if you like it spicy, or paprika. Contains lutein and zeaxanthin, improving blood flow to the back of the eye. Those are all things that I do on your rainbow chard that's in season right now, or even you have beetroot, slice that up. You can cook a load of them. Batch cook is important if you're struggling with time. And another one is last night's dinner, next day's lunch. And for those of you that I suppose are struggling, when you start to, I suppose, track your carbohydrate, your calories, carbohydrates is the last thing. And people say, God, Colin, that's a lot of carbohydrates for me to eat in a day. And I'm struggling because why? Potatoes are carbs, pasta is carbs, breads and sourdough, all these things are carbohydrates. And it can be difficult and, I suppose, overwhelming with the amount of fiber, because that's what's found in carbohydrates and all the different vegetables. But I'm going to tell you the quickest carbohydrate that you can most certainly get into your diet is dried fruit. Dried fruit such as raisins and dates. Again, they can be carried around. I like to have them in a glass jar or a little packet or pouch in my pocket. And those are things that literally can be consumed on the go. They're the body's first source of energy. So if you're low on energy levels and you're drained and we're moving a lot and you're sweating in work, these are your absolute staples. Your nuts, which are protein and healthy fats, your carbohydrates, which transportable, you can do the oats, as I said, or you can have dried fruit, raisins and dates. They will get you to your recommended carbohydrates in a day and bump up your energy levels. It is something that typically people who play sports at a high level do consume. And I used to play I'm still playing the dream, a little bit of sport, GA. And before games, people were giving us sweets And I always thought there must be something better than sweets. And then I learned a little bit more about nutrition and expanded on that point. Yeah, they were looking for a quick release, quick sugar release, and you can most certainly get them from sweets, Haribo's, wine gums, you name it. And I then found out that, again, we're looking at our dried fruits. I used to pop raisins, get those little packet of raisins. There you go. Not just for the kids and their healthy lunches. It's something that you can most certainly consume to get a bit of a pick me up and a pep towards you having more energy for the next thing, your exercise. Because all these things are important. And for you to put on weight, you most certainly will if you do eat in a calorie surplus. But we're looking to build lean muscle, and the combination of the two, exercise and the foods, are 100% key. So getting down to your exercise, you cannot skip it. You can't say you don't have time, because if you do say that, you are inevitably not going to change. We're looking for something that we haven't previously done before. So exercise, resistance style training. So the way to tear muscle fibers is through progressive overload. So you currently have to increase the amount of time that your muscles are working for. So that is either going from 30 seconds with 5 kg dumbbells, then the next weeks or 2 weeks time, I change up the training to a 40-second. Then I change another 2 weeks, maybe to 50, up it again 60. Just a pure example, if you only have, I suppose, a certain amount of weights at home, or if you're training in a gym, you can inevitably switch it up to go from 5 to 6 to 7 to 8 to 9 to 10. Some people have those at home, but for the most part, you could just need to progressively overload. You can also do it in a style of, 10 by 10 German volume training. That is something that I get people to do. And it is something that, again, is adding more time, more tension on the muscle, that tears more muscle fibers. Then when we eat that protein food, whether it be the chicken, the fish, the turkey, the eggs, the tofu, the tempeh, the hemp seeds, all those things are going to repair your muscle fibers. And it's important to eat most certainly after your workout, whatever time you do it, whether it's first thing in the morning. A lot of people like to knock it out of the park, because it's done and dusted, and all you have to do then is focus in on the foods. It doesn't matter what time you have your first meal. For the most part, it's the point at which that you factor in the foods that are going to help you to be in a calorie surplus, eating high protein, eating enough healthy fats, and most certainly carbohydrates to keep your energy levels. And in each meal, when we are having the likes of our exercise done to help us inevitably get and build lean muscle tissue. So those are the tips that I really do recommend for people to get on, because if you don't currently change what you're currently doing, you cannot, I suppose, expect a different result. And it's the definition of insanity. We have to most certainly look after ourselves. And I would fall into this category, that if we're not focusing in on looking after what needs to be done, whether it's your training, whether it's your foods, and those two things help for a healthier and a happier individual. That's linked massively with mental health. And it's something that's not really talked about enough. Exercise is key. And sometimes after I do a day's work, often people will say to me, God, you'll hardly need to go and do your training after that. And yes, I do. It's because it's actually a way of de-stressing. And for the most part, I train at home, and inevitably I actually most certainly use a lot of energy and I have a lot of passion, and I do give a bit of a shout and a belter, and God help the neighbors, when I do my training, because it's a way of using up that energy. Because if I don't do that, I suffer from anxiety, I suffer from stress, and a lot of people mightn't even see that. But whatever situation you're currently in, you can do the exact same. Exercise is not just for, I suppose, building lean muscle or losing weight or looking a certain way. It's for overall health. And I'm such a, suppose, a believer in balance. And if you're not happy where you are right now, training is one sure hell way to make sure that you're improving, because progress is addictive. And that's how I actually got into training in itself. And I had a chat with someone that set me on the right path, and using my time wisely, because we all have the same 24 hours in a day. They're not making any more time. You just have to make a priority. You have to get into a calorie surplus. You have to focus in on your 3 main meals. You can do 6, you could do any amount, because I used to have 6, then I used to have 3, then I switched it back to 2 for a period of time, because what works is what suits you. That's really important. Having a shopping list done and dusted with these foods in the press, because if you don't have these foods in the press, you are going to struggle. And the things that help people to build lean muscle tissue can often be an easy liquid calorie, we'll call it smoothie or shake. And adding in the likes of cacao powder, I didn't even mention it, is really important. It's high in magnesium. Magnesium is used for over 300 functions in the body, energy levels being one of them. The other one is most certainly is sleep. If you're not prioritizing your sleep, you cannot, I suppose, recover properly. And that's why I have a routine. I unwind, I do journaling, I write things down. Did I achieve what I wanted to do? Did I track my calories if I'm looking to build lean muscle tissue? Did I do the workouts that Coleman set me out, or whoever? If you're just listening to this podcast and trying to gain advantage of all the free information. And I have loads of different workouts up on my social medias if people want them. And I want this to be accessible to absolutely everybody, because that's, I suppose, the entry point. But if you want tailored, I suppose, accountability, that's what a coach is for. Most people know what to do. Most people have an idea. And the thing is, they just need someone to help them and push them over the line. And going back to that point, then sleep, you have to get consistent, regular sleep. I have a pattern, I have a system that really works for me. I go to bed between the hours of 9 and 10. So right now, I'm going to bed at 10 o'clock. I'm getting up every single morning at 6 o'clock. Okay. After a period of time, your body will start to understand this is when I am getting up. If you do not prioritize sleep, your body cannot recover, because that's the part of the 24-hour day where it is inevitably recovering. You're recharging. So a lot of people say if I end up getting less sleep, I get more done. In fact, it's the complete opposite. You're tired. Your, I suppose, hormones are a little more out of whack, and you're more irritable, which can only lead to an unhappy relationship with yourself, family members, or anyone else you come into contact with, work colleagues. So if you do not prioritize your sleep, things that I do for my sleep, I do stretching, I do grounding. Why? Because it neutralizes free radicals, it reduces stress. Anything that reduces stress on the body is key. Drinking maybe warm chamomile tea, or something like maybe rosemary would literally pull straight out the bush, put in the likes of a cup, drinking it, but slowing down. Don't be looking at your phone. That turn down the lights, get romantic. All those things do help. On a serious note to do. That's my train of thought, anyway. But yes, you have to prioritize your sleep. Magnesium is key. 2 kiwis before bed really does increase your melatonin. Turning down the light. Stop looking at the laptop. Stop looking at the phone. Stop looking at the tablets. And those are the things that really do help. Why? Because light is key. Watching the sunrise and the sunset is another real, I suppose, holistic health-based tip that I pass on to people. Why? Because it sets your circadian rhythm. Your body is set from light. If you have lights full belt on in the house, how is it meant to know that it's time to go to sleep? You have to unwind. You have to tell the body to produce melatonin. And if you do wake up in the middle of the night, don't turn on lights or use a red light. It's something that it's changed my life. Foods, light, sleep, and most certainly exercise. And if you're looking to have an improvement on that, use the golden tips. And just the recaps are making sure you're eating enough protein, 1.5 grams to 2 grams per kg of body weight. That's really important. That's per meal. So roughly, if you're 70 kg, that's about 45 grams of protein roughly per meal. Then you need to have enough carbohydrates. Okay, the carbs are complex carbohydrates, but also simple carbohydrates, any pastas, rices, anything at all that's going to give you energy. Your healthy fats, your nuts, your seeds, fats from meats if you are eating them. If not, your cooking oils are definitely 9 kilocalories per gram compared to like protein and carbohydrates that are 4 kilocalories per gram. Then you have to do the workouts. If you are not tearing muscle fibers, you will inevitably not be able to put on lean muscle tissue. So training is really important. A good indication that you're tearing muscle fibers is you're sore the next day. And I mean sore in your muscles, not sore in your lower back from the likes of incorrectly lifting weights from A to B. It's, I suppose, about using the weights that you do have to tear muscle fibers, whether it be in your legs, the large muscle group of your body, your back. The next exercise is that next chest is another large muscle group. Following that is your shoulders. Those are the 4 main muscle groups. And on the program that I get people to most certainly carry out, it is something that they progress through, using those large muscle groups so that they can tear more muscle fibers and then repair from, like I said, with their foods and incorporating a healthy sleeping pattern. Whatever time you go to bed, be consistent with it. Whatever foods you eat, be consistent. Do and have your shopping list, and that's what you get on the Organic Fitness Program. A list of foods that I do recommend, some weekly, some bi-weekly, and some people grow a little bit of their own and have their own chickens, which is absolutely great, because white foods are an absolute game changer. And other than that, Fitness book available on Amazon. Check that out. There's golden nuggets in that, 100% for sure. And that's all about literally all the information I've learned over the last 10 years on health, fitness, nutrition, and training. So I suppose we'll leave it there. Other than that, stay tuned, stay classy, and keep it organic. And if anybody else is looking to join the Organic Fitness Program for tailored nutrition, exercise, accountability, send me a message on Instagram, Facebook, or TikTok. That's going unbelievably well. Or my email. Fill in the contact details and fill in your goals. And I'll get back to you as soon as I possibly can. Lights out.